She had a food allergy reaction in school, and nobody was able to get the epinephrine to her in time. That is exactly how these deaths occur. They occur overwhelmingly. The majority of deaths occur when there is a delay in administration of epinephrine. It's just that simple. If the kids get the Epi-Pen quickly, they don't die. I've witnessed it myself several times with my daughter Maya, who's here. She's going to speak today as well. Within seconds, she's lost consciousness, she's not breathing, she's swollen from head to toe, and with the epinephrine injection, within 2 to 3 minutes, it's as if it never happened. She's 100% fine, and she's waiting for medical attention to arrive. So we really just want to reiterate, of course, the important things that you should know about this law is that it is not an unfunded mandate. There are no financial implications to this legislation. Everything would be 100% free for the training for the teachers. There's no cost to the teachers, the administrators, or the state. And it's just a very simple measure that can save lives. So we hope that you'll help support it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
My apologies again.
No, thank you very much. Our next speaker is John Terry. He's the founder of Allergy Advocacy Association that's based in Brockport, New York. And his association is dedicated to preventing anaphylaxis through awareness, alertness, and action. Mr. Terry.
Thank you, Linda. On behalf of the Allergy Advocacy Association, I would like to personally thank Assemblymember Linda Rosenthal and Senator Martin Golden for sponsoring this important legislation concerning the proper use of epinephrine, which is the first medical line of defense against an attack of anaphylaxis. Epinephrine is vital to the survival of a person experiencing anaphylaxis. However, it must be administered in a timely manner to be effective and to save lives. As a member of a family who has lost a loved one to a fatal attack of anaphylaxis, the motto of our association is very simple. Not another life lost to anaphylaxis. Not another life lost to any life-threatening allergy. Thank you.
Thank you. And now we're going to hear from Sarah Albert. Sarah Albert is 10 years old. She's a vibrant 5th grader at Seven Bridges Middle School in Chappaqua, New York. She is severely allergic to peanuts and tree nuts. She's an athlete. She plays soccer, basketball, does competitive dance. Every day she has to make sure that she is safe. And she would feel much safer if her teachers knew how to use an Epi-Pen. Sarah?
Hi. First, I would like to say that I am honored to be here today. My name is Sarah Albert, and I am 10 years old and a 5th grader at Seven Bridges Middle School. I am severely allergic to peanuts and nuts. I couldn't breathe when I had an anaphylactic reaction, and I needed an adult's help. If a kid were drowning or choking, a teacher would jump in to save them. This is no different. However, knowing how to use an Epi-Pen, a teacher would be helpless. We are lucky to have Epi-Pens, and every teacher should know how to use one. It is a simple way to prevent a tragedy. I hope that you will remember and vote yes to Assembly Bill 759A, Senate Bill 4876. You will be saving lives.
That was wonderful. Thank you. Next we have Patty Albert, who is Sarah's mother. She wants to make sure that every child living with a food allergy is safe at school. Patty?
Hi, thank you so much.
Sure.
I just wanted to reiterate what my daughter said, that a teacher would be helpless to help a child without the knowledge of how to use an Epi-Pen. And I think it's just a simple way to prevent more tragedies from occurring. And I applaud you on bringing this to our attention. Thank you.
Thank you. Next we have, I'm not sure who's going first. You going first?
Sure.
Okay, go ahead. Tell me your name.
Spencer Brown.
Spencer Brown, and he has allergies, and he's going to describe them and the need for Epi-Pen.
My name is Spencer Brown, and I am allergic to dairy, eggs, nuts, seeds, and I just grew out of fish. When I'm at school, I want to feel safe, and when the nurses are out there, I want my teachers to know how to use an Epi-Pen to save my life.
That's wonderful.
Very
Thank
good.
you. Good job. Okay. And Maya, this is Maya, and she's 11, and she's going to describe her food allergies and the need for people to be trained, teachers to be trained in Epi-Pen use.
Hi, my name's Maya. I am 11 years old, and I am here today to support Assembly Bill 759-A, or Senate Bill 4876. This bill is very important. The bill says that every newly certified teacher in New York State should be trained in using an Epi-Pen. The best way for me to describe the Epi-Pen is it's just a lifesaver. The Epi-Pen is an epinephrine autoinjector. Epinephrine is a medicine that stops an anaphylactic reaction on the spot. I'm in middle school and some of my classes are very far from the nurse's office. And I and other children in New York like me need to feel comfortable that if, God forbid, we have a reaction in school and the nurse is not around, the teacher would be able to give us the Epi-Pen and save our lives. Thank you.
That was great. And now we're going to hear briefly from some of my colleagues who are here to support this bill. First up is Alan Maisel from Brooklyn.
Good morning, Assemblywoman Rosenthal and Senator Golden. Thank you for your vision and your determination to help the children of our state. In a previous life, I was a school administrator, a junior high school in particular, with 1,500 students. And I was the supervisor of the 8th grade lunchroom. And every once in a while, we'd get a parent who came to the school would tell us that my child has an allergy to peanuts. And that was important for us to know in case something happened, so we would know that we had to call 911 immediately. But as was pointed out, seconds count. It would have been wonderful if we had the tools at our disposal to help these children, God forbid something happened. Even if all of the teachers are not trained, because of this is for new teachers, but could you imagine if every assistant principal in the junior high school, even the principal, the secretaries, if everybody was familiar with the use of these devices, it really could save lives. In the junior high school, that's one thing. The children are a little older. They know perhaps what they shouldn't eat. Sometimes mistakes happen. But I can only imagine what would happen in an elementary school where the kids are younger and they really don't know, and accidents can happen. So it's extremely important, certainly for the elementary schools, but for all schools. And it was mentioned about school nurses. Well, in my school, we didn't have a school nurse. We had a Board of Health assigned health aide who couldn't do anything more than give Band-Aids. So this bill is extremely important. I don't really understand the resistance to it. This should be something should have been passed a while ago, and like a lot of legislation that has reached its point where it's like a fine wine, it aged. This bill has aged. It needs to be passed. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Next up, we have Philip Goldfeder from Queens, who's an avid supporter of this bill.
Thank you, Assemblywoman Rosenthal. As I walked my son to school yesterday, and my son who's 3, I wonder, and I want to make sure that as I take him to school, that he's safe. And that the people who are going to be teaching him and to giving him instruction also have the tools to ensure that if there is, God forbid, an incident, any incident, they have the tools to be prepared to save his life. And as a parent, it scares me that there could be an instant where any parent would have to go through a case where their child is suffering from something that is so treatable. It is so preventable. We're not talking about something that we don't have a cure for. There's no way to respond. There's a simple way to respond. And those educators who put themselves in classrooms to educate our children need to take the tools. This legislation is just common sense. You've heard it from the kids. As young as 9 and 10 years old, they understand it. Our colleagues need to understand it as well. This is common sense. We've got to do it to keep all our kids safe. So thank you to the sponsors in the Assembly and the Senate. And I hope, for the sake of our children, we find the will to pass this bill this year.
Thank you. Thank you. And next we have Assemblymember David Weprin, also from Queens.
Thank you, Assemblymember Rosenthal, for putting this together, along with Senator Golden. You know, everything has already been said. Maybe not everybody has said it yet, but you know, the point was brought out that there's no funding involved here. That and obviously we're in tough fiscal times. You know, we adopted 3 recent budgets on time, and we've had fiscal challenges each and every year. But even if there was a financial burden or a financial element, this would make perfect sense. To save one life, what can you put a cost to that? But clearly, when there's no cost involved, it's just a question of education. It's common sense. I'm proud to be a co-sponsor of this legislation, and let's pass it, and let's pass it now.
Thank you. That's great. So I just want to reiterate. This is an Epi-Pen. This is very simple to use. I have not had training, but I know that were I to need it, I would just shove it into my thigh, and a few seconds later, I would be relieved of my symptoms. Now, these brave kids who came up to Albany, even though, you know, you've heard bad things about Albany, they're happy to be here because this is a great cause, and this is something they need in their lives, and I'm sure many friends and colleagues have this kind of problem. It's so simple, and you know, the last thing I want to hear is, oh, if we'd had such a pen, we could have saved, if we'd had training, we could have saved little person. I don't want to hear that, and that's what's happened in other states. Well, we have to make sure it doesn't happen next time. In this state, I don't want to hear it happening at all, and only because of vigilant parents and groups is the education spreading, but we need every teacher to be trained. It's simple, doesn't cost anything, takes 10 minutes, and will save lives. Is anything better than that? I don't think so. So hopefully we will pass this year in the Assembly. It has to go through the Education Committee, and I'm hopeful they will put it on an agenda as soon as possible. The same thing has to happen in the Senate. But, you know, we have all this support. We have children whose lives we can help save in the event of an emergency. So we're just here together today to urge passage of this bill to save lives. Thank you very much. Are there any questions?
Yes, where's the opposition coming from? Who's opposed to doing this?
Well, it has to get on an agenda, so it has to go through the Education Committee. So, you know, that's where this first step begins.
But for example, do the teachers' unions endorse this, or have they taken a position on it?
No, they haven't. They haven't taken a position on this, and you know, we're just trying to put some emphasis on the bill so people become aware of it and rally to support it.
I can say that the medical community has supported it. We have a ton of letters in support from the Allergy Asthma Foundation.
Yeah,
I was just saying that the medical community has supported it. We have press packets for you guys with just letter after letter after letter from asthma and allergy foundations here in the U.S. as well as from Canada because of the unfortunate tragedy that happened there. So the medical community is behind it 100%.
If I could just ask one other question.
Sure.
Why do you need a law? Couldn't the Education Department put a rule in for teachers to be trained?
There's actually voluntary. It's voluntary. So my office foiled the State Department of Education to see what information they had about compliance with this voluntary standard, and they came up empty because they don't audit it. They don't know how many schools are participating. So in the absence of mandatory training, there may be no training at all, maybe at random schools. So instead of making this life-saving training be voluntary, this bill makes it mandatory. And it's only for newly hired teachers. So obviously we hope that the word would spread and current teachers would learn how to use the Epi-Pen, but it's not that onerous because it's only teachers going forward.
Who supplies the Epi-Pens? There's no cost to the school. Do the kids bring their own in, or is it?
Can I speak to that, actually?
Yeah.
Right now, the children bring their own Epi-Pens into school. Most of them are kept in the nurse's office, but many of them, like I think several of the children up here today, are so anaphylactic, that their allergies are so severe that they carry their Epi-Pen with them around the building. So they do supply it right now. There is you know, a push. Hopefully, eventually, all schools will have epinephrine on hand, and if that's the case, the company that makes the Epi-Pen, the Mylan Laboratories, they have a program right now that's already been renewed for the 2013-2014 school year, where any school that wants a free Epi-Pen can have a free Epi-Pen. So.
And you have another kind, right?
Yeah.
Okay. There's two kinds of Epi-Pens. These are the.
Looks high tech.
This one actually speaks to you.
This one speaks
That's
to you,
great.
gives you instructions on how to use it. And this one is the one that's been on the market, probably the only one that's been on the market for 25 years. I mean, it's simple. It's simple to use. We just need teachers to be trained in how to use it. And teachers are also protected by Good Samaritan laws, so no one can sue them if something, a mishap happens, which doesn't really happen with this. So, anything else? All right. Well, thanks for coming. And if you want to interview anybody, we're all here.
Keep it up, kids.
Thank you.
Right here.
Good job, guys.
Kids.
Democracy in action.
Good job.